going on, guys? It's Alex, and today I've got a couple phones to mess around with. That being said, I thought it'd be a great idea to kind of take a jump back in time and see how the iPhone cameras have progressed. A little short summary, and then follow it up with kind of a test. So, before I get started with the iPhone blind test, I thought it'd be great to kind of summarize and look back at how all the iPhones have progressed within the last 4.5 years. Currently, the 6S Plus is the oldest supported iPhone by Apple in terms of updates, so I thought that'd be a great baseline to work with. So, let's jump right into it. Back in 2015, when the iPhone 6S Plus first released, Apple had switched to a 7000 series aluminum, which allowed the phone to be more resistant toward bending, which was a pretty big problem at the time. That being said, the optics on the camera were pretty much the same as the iPhone 6, but we did get a new sensor. This new sensor was the first time Apple had introduced a 12 megapixel sensor over an 8 megapixel sensor that we had seen on the iPhone 6 and all the iPhones before the 6. And in terms of details, there wasn't a night and day change, but what you would notice was better colors and image processing. This 12 megapixel jump also allowed this iPhone to be the first iPhone that could actually shoot 4K. It also came with live photos, which I'm still surprised is alive to this day because it's kind of gimmicky. Moving on to the iPhone 7 Plus, we did see a pretty familiar design, same rectangle with rounded aluminum corners, same big bezels and chin. Actually, the body's pretty much the same, but we did see minimized antenna bands, a matte black option, new camera optics, and a new sensor. Also, the first dual camera on the iPhone 7 Plus, a normal camera and a telephoto lens for 2x optical zoom. This is the phone that took the change and stepped into the new modern smartphone design that Apple provides now, and it's also the first time Apple dropped the old design, introduced a notch, docked the home button for Face ID, and the new notch was big news at the time. All the front-facing camera optics and tech were now held within the notch, and Face ID was introduced as a new security feature that would scan infrared dots all over your face and create a facial recognition map. Apple also threw in Animojis as sort of an iPhone flex, so if you sent them to people at the time, it was basically a way of saying, hey, I've got the new iPhone 10. The iPhone X also got a camera upgrade on the back, same sensor as the iPhone 8 Plus, but with better glass. Flipped vertically and both now optically stabilized. HDR and dynamic range were greatly improved on this camera, curved corners, full glass back, stainless steel, and a sleek looking change that we hadn't seen from Apple in a long time. And here's where we are today. About 4.5 years of improvements to design, specs, displays, and of course, cameras. The cameras were the absolute focus of all the Apple ads and all the news. Triple camera design, first time an iPhone introduced an ultra-wide camera, and on top of the wide and telephoto cameras, all the sensors are new and are all 12 megapixel cameras. Dynamic range, sharpness, post-processing, everything is improved. It's also one of the best smartphone cameras out right now, and with the new night mode, it vastly improves dim or rough lighting scenarios. So after a quick overview of the changes Apple has made to the cameras within the last decade, I felt like it'd be a fun idea to place the iPhone 6S Plus, iPhone 7 Plus, iPhone 10, and iPhone 11 Pro Max all head-to-head against each other in a variety of different scenarios and see if it's easy to spot the difference between these cameras. This is a total blind test, so no labels, you're not gonna know which photo is from which phone, and they're all scrambled for each slide. Each slide will also have a little voting poll, so you can pick A, B, C, or D depending on which photo you think is the best. And I wanted to see what you guys would pick. So let's see. I'm gonna have this up for a couple days, then I will follow up with the results video so we can see what was the overall top pick for camera. So remember, 4.5 years of iPhone camera progression. It's not the most scientific test. I'm not doing these perfectly still. I'm definitely just grabbing one phone, taking a picture, grabbing the next phone, taking a picture, trying to match all the lighting scenarios as best as my ability. And I thought it'd be really easy to pick out which smartphone camera was the best out of all of them. But let me tell you something, it might be a little bit more difficult than you'd expect it to be. You think the iPhone 11 Pro Max is gonna take it like a storm? We'll see. So I'm gonna start the test. Feel free to pause the video at any point if you want to pixel peep or just check out the pictures really closely. So let's start.